Welcome to another video on discrete probability distribution. We have two types, binomial and Poisson. I am here to help you to answer your questions in an exam by identifying certain things that will enable you to quickly do your computations. So let's get started. Binomial usually talks about successes and failures. In an exam, you are looking for an exact probability. For example, it happens 2 times out of 5, that's 40%, that's exact. Or 1 out of every 10, that's 10%, 0.1. The formula for binomial is this one. We'll get into detail a little bit later about the formula. The second one is Poisson, usually associated with a time period. When you read a question in an exam and it's about discrete probability distributions, if you see the word average, then it means Poisson. So you are looking for average probability, right? And it's about an event per unit. For example, somebody will have 2 drinks per hour. A Poisson distribution can be used to show how many times an event is likely to occur within a specified period of time. We call that count probability. The formula is given below, and we'll get into detail a little bit later about the formula. When you see a question in an exam, remember you are looking for certain things for you to be able to identify the type of distribution it is. Pay attention to the things that are highlighted in red. It has been found that 1 out of every 10, that's exact, 1 out of every 10 students who date in a college end up in marriage. If we randomly select a sample of 9 students, what is the probability that no more than 3 students end up in marriage? This is binomial because there is an exact probability. And when you are looking at the probability no more than 3, it means you're including 0, 1, 2, and 3. Let's jump to the next one. A call center receives an average, that's average probability there, of 3 calls per minute, that's time, or a time frame. Find the probability that the center will receive exactly 4 calls in a given minute. That's Poisson, because it's an average probability and it's dealing with a time frame. Besides just identifying the words, many students struggle with the terms that are in the question. So you need to understand what each word represents or stands for. So you need to understand words like at least, no more than, at most, no less than, larger than, greater than, no greater than. The first example was looking at the probability of x being equals to 4. So you just compute the probability of 4. The second one is talking about x being less or equal to 3, which means you need to find the probability of 0, the probability of 1, then 2, then 3, and you add them together. The most difficult one that many students struggle with is more than, because it involves a lot of things, which means then you need to do a lot of computations. An example is find the probability that x is greater than 2, which means you need to find the probability of 2, 3, going all the way up to 10 if the sample size is 10. Now, if you have such a question, you need to use the complementary rule. So what does the complementary rule say? It actually says that the probability adds up to 1. So you can subtract whatever you are given to get the complement. So what do I mean? I need to find out greater than 2, which means I can find out the probability of 0 and add it to the probability of 1, and then add those together and subtract from 1, which means I can get anything above 2. To simplify that, I'll give you an example. If we are looking at 25%, what is the complement of 25%? The complement of 25% is 75. How do I get it? I will say 1 minus 25% and I'll get 75%. All right, cool. Let's look at an example to show that very clearly. Global Insurance has found that 20%, 1 in 5, that's binomial, of all drivers crash their car. Assume that 10 policies are randomly selected. What is the probability that at least 2 out of the 10 policyholders have crashed their car? Sample size 10. Probability of x greater than 2, which means we need to get 2 up to 10. So instead of doing all those binomial calculations 9 times, you find the probability of 0 and add it to the probability of 1, and then subtract all that from 1 to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to 10. This is a calculation that you get after you have used the formula. For this exercise, I'm not showing you how to do the formulas. I'm just showing you what is complementary rule. We'll do that in the next session. All the best.